Hello everyone, my name is Vanessa. The name of this channel is called Gnostic Knowledge, and what I am doing on this channel is simply reading a book. The name of this book is called Letters and Numbers, and this book is written by Zachary K. Hubbard. You can acquire a copy of this book by visiting one of his two YouTube channels, Gematria Effect News or Gematria Effect Sports, and in the description of each video that he produces, he leaves a link for you to purchase the book. The book costs $5, the best $5 you'll ever spend, because this information is truly phenomenal. Every human being on this planet should know this information. The book comes to you in a PDF file via email. Once you get the email, you would save the file, of course, to whichever device you're going to use to read the book later. Zachary K. Hubbard left the copyright off this book so that you can take it to your local bindery and have it bound into a book for your own personal library. But also having it in the electronic file format makes it much more easier to search for information in this book, because there's over 700 pages in this book. Zachary K. Hubbard also wrote a second book called Number Games. You can acquire this book by visiting his blog page called Gematria Effect News.blogspot.com. The first thing you'll see on his blog page is the advertising for the book. You scroll down, and under there you will find the information on how to order the book within the United States and abroad, and this book comes to you via paperback. It'll be mailed to you. And also, if you become a Patreon on his channels, become a Patreon of Zachary K. Hubbard for the cost of $1 per month at the $1 tier, you will get both books emailed to you in the PDF file format. These books are phenomenal. I haven't read both books completely yet, but the information I've read so far is mind-blowing, even in Number Games. So I encourage each of you to visit Zachary K. Hubbard's YouTube channel. Read the blogs on his blog page. He also has a blog page that he'd been blogging on for over 5 years, and that blog page is called Free to Find Truth.blogspot.com, and it is just loaded with information. And as I've stated in all of my other videos, the information that you're going to read about, it is nothing for you to believe in. This is stuff you can prove that has taken place, and it is continuing, but it does need to be stopped. The system that we live under needs to be changed. If that will happen in my lifetime, I don't know, but we need to think about future generations that are coming up. They need to know this information. Okay, without further ado, I am going to be starting on page 235. I left off reading about President Taylor, Zachary Taylor, and we're going to continue with him and then move on into other information as Zach transcends through the book. So, page 235, chapter 13, Trumped, Rigged Elections and Presidential Assassinations. Okay. In the Chaldean and septenary ciphers, his name, Zachary Taylor, that's who we're talking about, his name was very fateful as well. Recall, in ordinogematria, death sums to 38. Zachary Taylor equates to 38 in the septenary cipher. Zachary Taylor equates to 38 in the Chaldean cipher. Independently, the name Zachary and the name Taylor equate with kill, in addition to the fateful numbers 38s associated with it. Wow. Before we decode, recall that in ordinogematria, kill equates to 44, and in reverse reduction, kill sums to the number 28. The name Zachary equates to 44. Reverse reduction, H counted as 10. Taylor equates to 28 reverse in the reduction cipher. Recall, the divisors of the number 44 sum to 84, and Taylor would die on a date having numerology of 84, bringing us back to the Jesuits. With regards to 50 being his year of passing, let us not forget that America has gematria of 50, and United States of America equates to 84. Okay? And the date 7/9/1850, you add 7 plus 9 plus 18 plus 50, it equates to 84. Also important, Taylor would die 227 days after his November 24th, 1849 birthday. Of course, 227 is the number that is connected to pi, cycles, and circles, not unlike life and death. Also intriguing is that 227 is the 49th prime number, and he celebrated his last birthday in 49. America equates to 49 in reverse reduction. On the date of his death, it was 138 days to his upcoming birthday, a number connecting to federal as well. You could also say it was a span of 139 days connecting to America and Freemasonry. The 13th president, Millard Fillmore, would replace Zachary Taylor the day of his passing. Interestingly, the name Millard has satanic gematria of 314, not unlike pi, and 3.14, the result of dividing the number 22 by the number 7. Millard, and he has it here, equates to 314 in the satanic cipher, and he has the numbers, that corresponds with the letters in his name. Okay, also interesting, the name Millard has reduction gematria of 33 and Frank Baconis gematria of 137, where 137 is the 33rd prime, and both numbers being very special to Washington, D.C., the federal city where Taylor died. Connecting further, Taylor was in his 16th month of being president when it came to an end due to his death. When you write out 16 in reduction gematria, it sums to 33 as well, and it reminds that the next president to die in office would be number 16, Abraham Lincoln. So the name Millard equates to 33 in reduction. 16 written as a word equates to 33 in reduction. Millard also equates to 137 in the Frank Baconis cipher. Of course, M is the 13th letter, and Millard became the 13th president. As we know, this is a special number to the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, and the name Millard Fillmore had gematria to fit the bill. Millard Fillmore equates to 78 in reduction. Millard Fillmore equates to 159 in ordinal. Scottish Rite equates to 78 reverse reduction. Jesuit equates to 78 reverse ordinal. Scottish Rite equates to 159 in reverse ordinal. Fillmore would end up dying at age 74 on March 8, 1874, a date that can be written as 3/8 or 8/3, much like 38 or 83, where both numbers were connected to the word murder, where both numbers are connected to the word murder. Again, the patterns throughout history are undeniably repetitive. As we'll get to in the corresponding chapter ahead, it isn't coincidental the song Murder by Numbers was released in 1983, emphasis on 83, by the band The Police. In the same way, it is not coincidental a song exists called Gematria, the killing name. As a reminder, both Gematria and killing have Gematria of 74. Millard never got to hear these songs. Also worth mentioning is that Millard became president 183 days after his 50th birthday on January 7, 1850. The name Abe Lincoln has reverse ordinal gematria of 183, and Lincoln would be the next president to die in office by very similar numbers as Zachary Taylor, dying in 1865, emphasis on 65, where Taylor passed at age 65. Consider further, Taylor was trying to stop the Civil War, and Lincoln died as a result of the Civil War. Something else to think about, as perfectly scripted as all these deaths are, is that perhaps all this time we have been lied to, and these presidents haven't really died, but instead it has all been part of the show, if you will, our scripted history by the numbers. As we continue on, you'll see how perfectly it all works out again and again, seemingly too perfect at times. So Abe Lincoln equates to 183 reverse ordinal. Okay, now we're getting into the death of Abraham Lincoln, April 15, 1865. 15 years after Taylor, Lincoln would be killed. The man credited with saving the Union. In terms of U.S. history, Lincoln was the first credited presidential assassination. So the date 4/15/1865, you add 4 plus 15 plus 18 plus 65, you get 102. 4/15/65, you add 4 plus 15 plus 65, it equals 84. As you'll recall, United States of America has gematria of 84 and 102. Better than that, the Civil War began April 12, 1861, the 102nd day of the year, and the word slavery also has gematria of 102. It is Lincoln in the history books that is often credited for freeing the slaves. A free slave, yeah. I don't believe there's such a thing, a free slave. I can't just be a free person. But anywho, moving right along. As for the 84, as we know, that is the number of the Jesuit order. The conspirator in the Lincoln assassination that is often omitted from the history books is John Harrison Surratt Jr., born April 13th, 1844, the same birthday as Guy Fawkes, who is connected to the Jesuit order, who escaped the United States after the death of Lincoln. I'm talking about John Harrison Surratt here, so let me reread that. The conspirator in the Lincoln assassination that is often omitted from the history books is John Harrison Surratt Jr., born April 13, 1884, who escaped the United States after the death of Lincoln and was protected by the Catholic Church until the statute of limitations expired in the United States for his arrest in connection with the death of the president. Something fascinating about his name is that in reduction gematria, it equates to 105, similar to how Lincoln expired on the 105th day of the year, April 15th. As we learned earlier, in ordinal gematria, both Zionism and Masonry sum to 105 as well. For an even more impressive connection to 84, Abraham Lincoln equates. So the name Abraham Lincoln equates to 84 in reverse reduction. As we have learned, the divisors of the number 44 when added equal to 84, and the name Abraham sums to 44 in ordinal gematria. Even better, his nickname, Honest Abe, has reduction gematria of 35, and when S is made to be 10, also 44, like how JFK was number 35, but also the 44th term president. Wow. So Abraham equates to 44 in ordinal. Honest Abe equates to 44. Reduction, S counted as 10. For even more fateful gematria, Lincoln and murder equate in 3 out of the 4 base ciphers, where both are 34 in reduction, 38 in reverse reduction, and 79 in ordinal. Where Lincoln differs is in reverse ordinal. His name sums to 110, similar to how president totals 110 in ordinal. It reminds how the name Adolf Hitler equates to 110 in ordinal gematria. And Hitler was born on April 20th, the 110th day of the Gregorian calendar year. Both Lincoln and Hitler were blamed for wars, and both men died in suspicious fashion at the end of the wars they were blamed for, in the month of April, at the age of 56. In ordinal gematria, April equates to 56, similar to how president sums to 56 in reduction when S is counted for 10. Also interesting is that the name Abraham Lincoln in ordinal gematria is a perfect match with conspiracy, summing to 1, 2, 3. In terms of questioning if all these killings have really happened, consider an actor in a theater killed Lincoln. Think about it. On the subject, you've likely heard the comparisons between the deaths of Lincoln and Kennedy from conspiracy researcher Jordan Maxwell. If not, they go like this. Abraham Lincoln was elected to Congress in 1846. John F. Kennedy was elected to Congress in 1946. Consider, Kennedy was killed at age 46, and in reverse reduction, both Abraham and Catholic equate to 46. Of course, JFK is the lone Catholic president to date. In reverse ordinal gematria, Catholic and Lincoln both equate as well, summing to 145. Also, as we have covered, sacrifice has reduction gematria of 46. Genesis 46 begins with a sacrifice, and in Hebrew both murder and kill equate to 46 too. Abraham Lincoln was elected president in 1860. John F. Kennedy was elected president in 1960. Regarding the year 60 in reduction gematria, Abraham Lincoln sums to 60, and in reduction, when S is counted for 10, conspiracy also equates to 60. The word order also has ordinal gematria of 60, same as the word police. I bring up the police because the Secret Service, the police for the president and federal government, was signed into existence the same day Lincoln was shot, April 14, 1865. The names Lincoln and Kennedy each contain 7 letters. Both were particularly concerned with civil rights. Both of their wives lost their children while living in the White House. Both presidents were shot on a Friday. In the case of Lincoln, he was shot on April 14th, the 104th day of the year, a special number to U.S. history, and one you will learn more about in the chapter on September 11. For now, consider Lincoln was shot on Good Friday, summing to 104 in ordinal. So, Good Friday equates to 104 in the ordinal cipher. 10-4 over and out, you policemen. That is too funny. And the date 2/23/1861, you add 2 plus 23 plus 18 plus 61. It equates to 104. Date of first assassination attempt on Lincoln. The first assassination attempt on President Lincoln. Okay, then the date 7/4/1776. 7 plus 4 plus 17 plus 76. 104. The date of the United States became a country. Okay. Here we go. Continuing. Both, talking about the presidents, Abraham Lincoln and Kennedy. Both were shot in the head. Lincoln's secretary, Kennedy, warned him not to go to Ford's Theater. Kennedy's secretary, Lincoln, warned him not to go to Dallas. Southerners assassinated both, and Southern vice presidents named Johnson succeeded both. Andrew Johnson would become the 17th president 107 days after his 56th birthday. President equals 56, reduction S counted as 10. Andrew equates to 65 in ordinal. Andrew Johnson equals 65 reverse reduction. He would become president in 65. Andrew Johnson, who succeeded Lincoln, was born in 1808. Lyndon Johnson, who succeeded Kennedy, was born in 1908. John Wilkes Booth was born in 1839, Lincoln's credited assassin. Lee Harvey Oswald was born in 1939, Kennedy's credited assassin. On the subject of the number 39, recall that Masonry and secrecy both equate to 39 in reverse reduction. As we know, JFK was killed in the middle of Dealey Plaza, named after a Scottish Rite Freemason, and Lincoln was killed in Ford's Theater, where the gematria of the structure corresponds with Freemasonry as covered, equating to 58. That becomes all the more intriguing when you realize the play Lincoln was watching was called Our American Cousin, which debuted October 15, 1858 in New York. Emphasis on 58. Exactly 339 weeks before Lincoln's assassination, where the number 339 corresponds with United States of America. Wow. And United States of America equates to 339 in reverse ordinal. Don't overlook the number 39 that can be found within 339. As for the debut in New York City, the land of the 39-story United Nations building, it is a city that is very much centered on that specific number, coming from the 39 books of the Old Testament, which I'll teach you more about in the chapter on sports rigging, where the number 39 always comes up huge, and where every New York Super Bowl won has been centered on it, specifically plus more. For now, here's a list to know and memorize. It puts any chance of coincidence to bed. At the same time, keep in mind, George Clinton, born July 26, 1739, was the first governor of New York, and New York was established July 26, 1788. So, here we go here. So the New York equates to 39 in reduction. The date 7/26/1788, the year that New York was established. That date, when added together as 7 plus 2 plus 6 plus 1 plus 7 plus 8 plus 8, it equates to 39. NY for New York, NY equals 14 plus 25 equals 39. NYC equates to 39 reverse ordinal, and NY equates to 39 ordinal. NYC 39 reverse ordinal. The word empire equates to 39 in reduction. George, as in George Clinton, the governor, the first governor of New York, his name equates to 39 in reduction, and the name Clinton equates to 39 reverse reduction. As for the October 15th release of the play, that is the day leaving 77 days left in the year. Recall how the number connects to theater in ordinal gematria, as well as the coordinates of the theater on the 77th meridian west in the G spot. Even better, for the name of the main character in the play, Asa Trenchard, Trenchard, Asa Trenchard has reverse reduction gematria of 77 too. If you read about the play, Asa is said to be an honest and humble man, too gullible for his own good. Wow, so Asa Trenchard equates to 77 reverse reduction. Ford's Theater equates to 77 reverse reduction, H counted as 10. If you do a little more decoding, which I'll save some fun for you, you'll notice the name Asa Trenchard and theater overlap with gematria of 77 and 112 using the base ciphers. Coincidence? Ha! Speaking of coincidence theorists, I recommend you read the article written by Snopes.com about how the comparisons between the deaths of JFK and Lincoln, which we are now uncovering, are all coincidence. Now, this is what Snopes.com is reporting, so let me reread that to put it in context. Okay, speaking of coincidence theorists, I recommend you read the article written by Snopes.com about how the comparisons between the deaths of JFK and Lincoln, which we are now uncovering, are all coincidence. No doubt the article was written by one of the long noses that grew at least a few centimeters longer upon publishing. Now, let us continue with that same list, okay? Both assassins were known by their 3 names, each consisting of 15 letters. When you write out 15 as a word, its gematria becomes 38 in the reduction method, having parallels to the words death, murder, and killing. Recall, Lincoln and Taylor died 15 years apart. The word assassin alone has gematria of 56, corresponding with 3, as in 3-part name. Again, Lincoln was killed at 56, a number connecting to president as well. I should also mention that 3 has reverse ordinal gematria of 79, corresponding with the word murder, and that is number 3 written as a word, T-H-R-E-E. Okay, so the word assassin equates to 56. Reduction, S is counted as 10. President equates to 56 in reduction, S is counted as 10. Civil War equates to 56 reverse reduction. 3, the word 3 equates to 56 in ordinal. The word 3 equates to 79 in reverse ordinal. On a related note about assassin, the date of April 14th, 1865 was right. Assassin equates to 101 in the ordinal cipher. The date 4/14/1865, when you add 4 plus 14 plus 18 plus 65, it equates to 101. And the date 4/14/1865, when added, 4 plus 14 plus 1 plus 8 plus 6 plus 5, it equates to 38. The date 4/14/65, when you add 4 plus 14 plus 65, it equates to 83. Don't forget, murder equates to 38 in reduction and 83 in reverse ordinal. As for the three-part name, killers in the history books, as for the three-part name killers in the history books, they are common, and I can't wait to tell you about my favorite of all time, Dylan Stormroof. So hoaxalicious. So hoaxalicious. But for now, let's get back to the list of coincidences according to Snopes. Booth ran from the theater and was caught in a tobacco shed. Oswald ran from a warehouse and was caught in a theater. Shit. Oh, excuse me. Shoot. Booth and Oswald were killed before their trials. Have you ever noticed how often it happens in mainstream reporting? The bad guy for the contrived story is often killed or commits suicide, thus no one can ever hear their side of the story, which leaves the long noses telling the tales as they love to do. It's a tired pattern, and one of many that doesn't add up, pointing to the obvious deception that is, at least if you're not American dreaming. Absolutely. Let us now focus on the failed assassination attempt of February 23, 1861. February 23rd, 1861, at the Willard Hotel, which came precisely 216 weeks before the Ford's Theater assassination that was reported as being successful. In our 4-base ciphers, both buildings are perfect matches in gematria as follows. So, the Willard Hotel equates to 58 in reduction. Willard Hotel equates to 68 reverse reduction. Willard Hotel equates to 139 in ordinal. And Willard Hotel equates to 185 reverse ordinal. Ford's Theater equates to 158 reduction. Ford's Theater equates to 68 reverse reduction. Ford's Theater equates to 139 ordinal. Ford's Theater equates to 185 reverse ordinal. Exact matches. Again, the word Freemasonry corresponds with the numbers 58 and 139. The word mathematics connects to 185, and the number 68 is often found around death. Wow. The word mathematics connects to 85, and the number 68 is often found around death, as we learned about with the death of the first president, William Henry Harrison. Let us not forget that Masonic has Jewish gematria of 223, not unlike the date February 23rd, where the two coinciding rituals begin. Speaking of the Freemasons, who were once builders, a favorite motto of mine that no doubt came from them, and it is one to live by, is measure twice, cut once. All right. Measure twice, cut once, and that equates to 223 in the ordinal cipher. And here, as he's talking about, Masonic has Jewish gematria of 223, not unlike the date February 23rd. So February is the second month, so that would be 223. Absolutely. All right. Also worth mentioning about Lincoln is that he was shot 61 days after his 56th birthday, which was February 12th, the 43rd day of the year. It was also a span of 43 days from March 4th, or 4/3, the start of his second term in 1865. Ford equals 65 reverse ordinal. As we know, the number 61 connects to time, and it also syncs with the year of the first assassination attempt, which was the year the Civil War began. White House also has gematria of 61 when S is counted for 10 in reduction. As for him being born on the 43rd day of the year, that is the number of the Civil War, which began in Charleston, where no one was killed in the first battle except for one lone horse. R.I.P. Okay, the phrase Civil War equates to 43. Reduction cipher. Charleston equates to 43. Reduction cipher. Killing equates to 43. Reverse reduction. Masonic equates to 43. Reverse reduction. Considering Lincoln is credited with freeing the slaves, it is no coincidence that the first black U.S. president was number 44, but truly only the 43rd person to be president. If you recall, Obama was selected on November 4th, 2008, a date with numerology of 43, while representing the land of Lincoln, and he gave his acceptance speech in Grant Park, having gematria of 43 as follows. And so Grant Park equates to 43 in reduction. The date of his speech, of President Barack Obama's speech, was 11/4/2008. You add 11 plus 4 plus 20 plus 08 equals 43. Okay? As a reminder, Obama was born on August 4th, the 216th day of the year in 1961. Emphasis on 61. Corresponding with how Lincoln died on a date with numerology of 84, 216 weeks after the first assassination attempt on his life in 1861. And for a second reminder, Abraham Lincoln has gematria of 84, and Abraham and Honest Abe equate to 44. Obama, which sums to 84 in Jewish gematria, is another puppet president who routinely put down conspiracy theories, especially those aimed at September 11. Now you know why, and soon we'll uncover how Osama died 119 weeks after Obama took office, and why Michael Jackson died on the author of 1984's birthday, June 25th, also corresponding with the first black man in the White House. So the author to write the book 1984 was George Orwell. Wow. So Civil War equates to 119 reverse ordinal. All-seeing eye equates to 119 reverse ordinal. The name Booth equates to 119 Frank Baconis. For one last point on the death of Lincoln, it is reported that he died at 7:22 a.m. April 15th, 1865. As we have learned, when you divide the number 22 by the number 7, the result is pi, P-I. Pi, having to do with cycles and circles. Let us now examine the gematria of United States of America, which Lincoln saved. In truth, the war was really about establishing the central bank and spreading slavery to all people of the nation, where we are all no doubt slaves of debt dollars that are the invisible chains that bind us all and collectively keep us on the American treadmill of financial necessity that pays much interest to the banker tyrants who have profited from the time of the American Revolution onwards. As we decode, you should notice that United States of America sums to 314 in ALW Kabbalah, like pi, and 722 in the primes cipher. Remember also, both America and circle sum to 50 in gematria terms. This is how the ciphers relate. Wow. So, and he has it written down here. The United States of America equates to 314 in the ALW Kabbalah cipher. United States of America equates to 722 in the primes cipher. And he has the numbers that correspond with the letters. Okay. Speaking of 722 and parallels between the assassination of Lincoln and Kennedy, the alternate name for the Warren Commission report was the President's Commission on the Assassination of President Kennedy, equating to 722 in ordinal gematria. That's crazy. As always, truth seeker, there is always more, but I'll save those riddles for you to discover, because it is making those discoveries yourself that is the joy of this work. Let us now transition to the next president to bite the dust in office. The death of James Garfield, September 19th, 1881. The 20th president, Garfield, would die 26 years after Lincoln. Consider, Lincoln also died, on a date leaving 260 days left in the year, not too far off from 26. As you learned in chapter 1, the number 26 represents kill, and it is the Masons in high places murdering by the code, playing God over the unknowing masses. In terms of the gematria of the name Garfield and him being the 20th president, the numbers were again fateful. You'll notice the number 20 connects to death, and Garfield has the gematria of 44 connecting to the word kill as well. The word death equates to 20 in the reduction cipher. Garfield equates to 44 in reduction cipher. As for the date he died, September 19th, it can be written 19/9, not unlike 199, which is the 46th prime number. As we have learned, that number connects to sacrifice, murder, and kill. Garfield died on this date after being shot July 2nd, 1881, which was 79 days prior. As we have also learned and covered multiple times, the word murder has ordinal gematria of 79. I told you these people are repetitive. Also relevant, the name James Garfield equates to 79 in reverse reduction. As we learned, the synagogue of Satan equates to 79 as well, and 223, which syncs with the name James in satanic gematria, equating to 223. How perfect is it all? James Garfield equates to 79. The date of him being shot and the year 81 were ripe for a ritual, which to the tyrants in charge is how they see murdering the innocent as rituals. Woo! Everything is a satanic ritual, and with what I am about to show you, everything you might have wondered about, the 27 Club, or the number of dead rock stars at age 27, will be answered. First, notice July 2nd can be written as 2/7, not unlike 27. The date of Garfield being shot also had numerology of 27 to boot as follows. So the date 2/7/1881, you add 2 plus 7 plus 1 plus 8 plus 8 plus 1, it equates to 27. The word ritual equates to 27 in reduction. The word ritual equates to 81 in ordinal. The word ritual equates to 81 reverse ordinal. Adding insult to injury, September 19th, the day of his passing, leaves 103 days left in the year, and 103 is the 27th prime number. Man, it's amazing. It was also the day coming 61 days before his 50th birthday, similar to how Lincoln died 61 days after his 56th birthday. Again, number 61 represents time. That means Garfield passed at age 49, a number connecting to America, Washington, and more. You'll recall 227 is the 49th prime, and in these death rituals, they're all about cycles and numbers. If you count from his 49th birthday to the day he died, it was 43 weeks and 3 days after, which is something like 433, the 84th prime, another number you know well, tying in with the Jesuits and the United States of America. You could also say he died on his 305th day of being his age, a number not far off from 35, corresponding with Catholic and other assassinations as covered. Speaking of 84, the assassination of Garfield was, speaking of 84, the assassin of Garfield was Charles Gatu. Now I know I am not going to pronounce this right, so I am going to spell it. Okay, Charles, of course, I can pronounce. You know what Charles is, but the last name Gatu is Guiteau. Charles Gatu. And if that's incorrect, I'm sorry. Okay, so a name in reverse reduction gematria equating to none other than the number 84. So that's what his name equates to, the assassin of Garfield. Okay, the name Gateau alone also sums to 84 as well as 42, both numbers that equate with Jesuit as well as Masonry and Freemason respectively. And don't lose track of the fact that the divisors of 44 equate to 84 in light of the gematria of Garfield. Alrighty. I'm hoping with the release of this book, Wikipedia will take down their page about Jesuit assassination conspiracy theories, which dismiss the truth of what is taking place in the world. It shouldn't be a hard thing for them to do, because they've taken down the 50 plus entries made by 50 plus different people for me, who have tried to build a Wikipedia for my name and my work, with the purpose of helping spread the knowledge and information. You see, Wikipedia isn't in the business of knowledge and information. They're in the business of controlling it, which is a very different thing. Absolutely. It's a very different thing when they can control the information, give you what they want you to know, not what is the truth and not what needs to be known. It's amazing. For a bit more information on the assassination, it happened at 9:30 a.m. on Garfield's 226th day of being 49 years old. Notice the time is a lot like the number 93, which connects to Saturn, the keeper of time, and having to do with death and judgment. If you write out 226 as words, it equates to 93. Further, if you write out planet in Jewish gematria, it sums to 226. These are numbers that are very important in history, and they explain why the 93 World Trade Center bombing happened February 26 or 226. Man, it is just amazing. For another parallel between Garfield and the 93 World Trade Center bombing, notice that 9:30 a.m. is the 570th minute of the day, and February 26 is the 57th day of the year. As we learned earlier, the number 57 connects to conspiracy and Scottish Rite. No doubt in both instances they were conspiracy-driven matters with the involvement of the Scottish Rite, who is large and in charge in the United States of America and elsewhere, including France, where the assassin Gatou reportedly wanted a consultation position in Garfield's administration. Being a man of French descent and a major supporter of Garfield on the campaign trail. Because he was overlooked, it made him venomous, according to the history books, which resulted in the fatal shooting. The man who would replace Garfield, becoming the 21st president, was Chester Arthur. Before we get to what was special about him taking over, recall that Saturn has reduction gematria of 21, and 21 is the sixth triangular number, corresponding with Saturn being the sixth planet from the Sun. As for the gematria of Chester Arthur, a number of things pop, starting with the fact that his name sums to 79 in reverse reduction, similar to how Garfield died 79 days after being shot. Ooh. Chester Arthur equates to 79 reverse reduction. The name Chester Arthur also sums to 187 in reverse ordinal, the very special number to Washington, D.C., and the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, as well as arsenic poisoning, which very well might have been how Garfield was finished off. As you'll learn in Murder by Numbers, many people have been killed with the number 187 signed into their death. Just wait until we get to the passing of Dr. Dre's son, a rapper who used to boast about committing 187s on records. Being a studio gangster might pay, but not enough. That is amazing. Chester Arthur was 51 years old, the federal number, when he became president, just 16 days shy of his 52nd birthday, another big number in Washington, D.C., as we know. Recall, when you write out 16, it sums to 33 in reduction, same as the name Chester, which is the other pertinent number to federal. So Chester equates to 33 in reduction. Federal equates to 33 in reduction. Okay. Where was I? Okay. Later in life, he would die on November 18th, the 322nd day of the year, 44 days after his 57th birthday. As they say, what goes around comes around. I'll remind you again, if you serve this gang in any capacity, you will be murdered by the code. All of you would be entertainers out there. So he says, all of you would be entertainers out there. I would choose wisely. Until the tyrants are out of power, you will need to decide if leaving this earth on your own terms is of value to you. Wow. Okay. The death of William McKinley, September 14th, 1901. 20 years after the 20th president died, the next man in the Oval Office to pass occurred. William McKinley was the 5th president to die in office, and the 25th president dying on a date with numerology of 25. Of course, the number 25 has a square root of 5, but more important than that, the word death also equates to 25. That is amazing. Death equates to 25, reverse reduction. And the date, 9/14/1901. You add 9 plus 1 plus 4 plus 1 plus 9 plus 0 plus 1 equates to 25. As for the name William McKinley, the gematria was fateful as follows. All right, so William equates to 34 reduction. Murder equates to 34 reduction. William equates to 79 in ordinal. Murder equates to 79 in ordinal. McKinley equates to 38 in reduction. And related words to that would be death, murder, killing, RIP. All those words equate to 38 in reduction. McKinley also equates to 43 reverse reduction. Killing equates to 43 in reverse reduction. In addition to the gematria of 43 for McKinley, he died on a date with numerology of 43, and it was precisely 43 days before Teddy Roosevelt's 43rd birthday, October 27. And that would be, let's see, yeah, did I say October? That's what it was, September. Oh yeah, October 27. Alrighty. McKinley was shot September 6th, 1901. Wow. On his 221st day of being 58 years old in the Temple of Music. Notice how Temple of Music equates to the number 58. It also equates to 68 in reverse reduction. Both numbers that should be familiar. Recall, the number 221 is connected to the Bavarian Illuminati, and the number 58 represents Freemasonry as well as Washington, among other things. It reminds a bit of Donald J. Trump, 68 reverse reduction, being sworn in at the 58th U.S. inauguration on his 221st day of being 70 years old, and that Trump has reduction gematria of 25. McKinley would die September 14th, which was 228 days after his 58th birthday, January 29th, or on his 229th day of being the age. With regards to the number 228, it represents United States of America in ordinal gematria as well as death in Sumerian gematria. As for 229, it is the 50th prime number, connecting to America and circle. Death equates to 228 in the Sumerian cipher. Regarding to the date he was shot, September 6th, it can be expressed as 9/6, similar to 96, representing Freemason in ordinal gematria, or 6/9, similar to 69, representing Saturn in reverse ordinal gematria. As we know, Saturn has to do with death and judgment, and as we also know more and more with each page, the Freemasons are numerological killers, or if not that, then stagers of hoax, numerological killings, which is a final judgment I will leave up to you, because as I write this, it is still a question I have myself. Corresponding with the September 6th shooting, Teddy Roosevelt would become the 26th president at the age of 42 years, 10 months, and 19 days, the youngest president to take office at the time of publishing this book. Recall, the divisors of 42 sum to 96, and both numbers represent Freemason, corresponding with him being the 26th president, a number representing Mason and having gematria parallel to 42. So 26, when written as a word, when when written as words, 26, it equates to 42. Wow. When 26 is written out, it also equates to 84, a number that is no stranger to assassinations, as we now understand. It also ties in with Teddy Roosevelt's full name. So, 26 as words equates to 84. Theodore Roosevelt Jr. equates to 84 in septenary cipher. Theodore Roosevelt Jr. equates to 84 in the Chaldean cipher. Please take the time to decode the number 26 in the 4 base ciphers. If you are retaining what is learned, you should be able to connect each of the 4 decoded numbers to Masonry, Freemason, and Scottish Rite. Remember, practice makes all the difference, and this is a skill you want to practice because it gives you the edge on understanding the past, present, and future like no other skill can. Of course, the number 84 also pertains to the Jesuits, the Masonic order within the Catholic Church, which corresponds with McKinley being shot on a date with 35 numerology. So, the date 9/6/1901, you add 9 plus 6 plus 19 plus 01, and that gives you, it equates to 35. And the word Catholic also equates to 35 in reduction cipher. For the ultimate kicker, the man who replaced him, Theodore Roosevelt Jr., he has a name summing to 96 in gematria, in reduction gematria. And consider he was the 33rd governor of New York, a very special number to the Scottish Rite, before becoming the vice president to McKinley. Theodore Roosevelt Jr. equates to 96 in reduction. For 2 more notes on the 26th president's name, it was perfect for New York, where he was governor, and Teddy, his nickname, corresponded perfectly with McKinley's age of death and his Freemasonic affiliations. Teddy, like many others who have occupied the highest office in the land, was a member of the Brotherhood. So, Theodore Roosevelt Jr. equates to 111 reverse reduction. The word New York equals 111 in the ordinal cipher. The word Teddy equates to 58 in ordinal. As for the assassin, said to be an anarchist, his name was Leon Czolgosz. I'm going to spell this name because I know I don't know how to pronounce this. But his first name is Leon, last name Czolgosz. Okay, so his name Leon, I don't know how to say it, which yields familiar gematria, reminding of Garfield being shot at 9:30. 93. Okay, so the last name of Leon is Czolgosz. That name equates to 93 in reverse ordinal. Anarchist equates to 93 in ordinal. His name also factors into Teddy taking over at age 42. And the last name, Czolgosz, equates to 42 in reduction. And I just have to show you guys this name because I just can't pronounce it, but maybe it is just amazingly crazy. But let's see if you can see that name there. Alrighty. That is a tongue breaker, not just a twister. Anyway. Okay, as we know, the numbers 42 and 93 relate to Saturn, the keeper of time. It is only fitting then his full name sums to 47 and 61, both numbers representing time. And in light of Saturn being the keeper of time, you should know that in the septenary cipher, Saturn equates to 26, like Mr. Roosevelt becoming the 26th president. So Leon, his full name, equates to 61 in reduction. And Leon and his full name equates, Leon and his last name together equates to 47 reverse reduction. And so that would be Leon CZOLGOSZ 47 reverse reduction, and Leon CZOLLGOSZ 61 reduction. The word Saturn equates to 26 septenary. I also spied two connections to the number 221, or the Bavarian Illuminati. So, I'm going to show you Leon's name and the ciphers that he, at the bottom of the page, where his name equates in the ciphers, where it equates to 221. Alright. So his name equates to 221 Francis Bacon and 221 in KFW Kabbalah. The next president to die in office, Warren G. Harding, would also die by the numbers of Saturn, but his death was not attributed to an assassin. Instead, it was credited to more natural causes easily seen through by having the knowledge of the code. Absolutely. The details of his death in San Francisco, summing to 122 in ordinal, are as follows. Keep in mind that San Francisco is also on the 122nd meridian, and 122 is the reflection of the number 221 belonging to the Masonic network established just before the American Revolution on May 1st, 1776, the 122nd day of 1776, which was a leap year. Okay, and it was let me go here. Okay, and it was created by Adam Weishaupt, Weishaupt, by Adam Weishaupt, a name equating to 51 in Gematria, not unlike 5/1 or May 1 or conspiracy or federal or Mason. Speaking of which, CZOLGOSZ also equates, and that name equates to 51, reduction S counted as 10. San Francisco equates to 122 ordinal, and it sits on the 122nd meridian west. Satanic equates to 122 reverse ordinal. Satanic equates to 93 Francis Bacon. Alrighty, so I am going to end my reading there, and yeah, I've been reading for an hour. The next death I will discuss is the death of Warren G. Harding. And so my next reading of chapter 13 will begin on page 247. So please do yourself a favor, get these books. Get this book, Letters and Numbers, written by Zachary K. Hubbard, and then get his book, Number Games, also written by Zachary K. Hubbard. Learn this information and seek out other truth seekers that are spreading this knowledge. You have Simple Truth Television on YouTube. Simple Truth also has a blog page, simpletruth.television.blogspot.com. He decodes sports. He decodes the news. You have Derek, who created the Gematrinator.com calculator website. He also does videos on YouTube where he incorporates the eclipse into his decodes. And I know all of this stuff sounds like it's far-fetched, but everything that we've been taught not to do, And I'm not telling you to go practice this stuff. That is not what I'm saying. You know, the numbers, astrology, astronomy, eclipse, everything that they tell us not to do, they practice it. This is occult knowledge. This is hidden knowledge that, yeah, they present this information to us as if it's foolish, it's stupid. But you know, I see people every day. I used to read my own horoscope. I mean, there is something to this stuff. And I'm not telling you to learn it to do any harm to people or anything like that. But we need to know this information, especially Gematria, because this is how they're ruling the world, through these fake numbers, through these fake things that they're doing to us. But it has real world consequences. You know, I mean, it is just amazing. So anyway, and Derek also does videos. Gematrinator 85, I believe. You can look that up on YouTube, and his video should come up. Zenith of the Alpha, Kayla the Code Talker, Dan Barrett. It's a lot of people. You know, it's a handful, but they are doing their best to get this information out as well. And this is my way of getting this information out there, reading the book. And like I said, I know I don't have the greatest reading voice at all, but I know a lot of people don't like to read. So I'm just hoping that by you coming across my reading of this book, that it will prompt you to maybe start your own channel to read the book. But read the book or listen to the book and share this information with as many people as you can. And because this stuff really does need to be known. And this will be my 4th upload, and I will get through this chapter. So just bear with me, and as the days go by, I will get this going. But starting tomorrow, like what's tomorrow? Thursday? Or is today? I think today is what is today? Let's see. Yeah, tomorrow's Thursday, so Thursday and Friday I have to help my grandkids with their schoolwork. Monday through Wednesday, their dad, he's home during the day, and so they're doing their schooling online now. So, and I'm just glad that I have the skills to know how to operate a computer. And you know, I mean, I have a degree in IT, you know, but it's just amazing that they're kindergarten. Well, my granddaughter, will she be going to 1st grade? I believe she's 1st grade. She did kindergarten last year, but her brother will be in kindergarten starting. So I have to help them, you know, tomorrow get logged on, and you know, I've made all type of alarms in my phone so to make sure they transition from one class to the next thing they have to do online. You know, so it's going to be a rather peculiar time. But I'm just glad that I'm able to assist when needed, you know, to help them. And yeah, it's fun. And I also get to teach them Gematria, you know, the good parts of it. You know, they're little babies right now, but they will learn. But they need to know. I mean, this is the one thing we weren't taught, that our letters are in fact numbers. I mean, you learn this code and you'll see what I'm talking about. But just don't dismiss it. Oh, that's foolish. Oh, this is, I mean, because this is really what's truly going on. But anyway, you guys have a good night, and I will talk to you later. Well, I will be reading for you guys later in the next video. So take care.